Hello students, I am Kirti from Computer Science Department, IIPUC College, Mysore. In this session, we are going to study about stacks. So what is a stack? A stack is an ordered collection of items in which insertion and deletion of items takes place at the same point called top. So what is a stack? The definition of stack is a stack is an ordered collection items where insertion and deletion of items takes place at the same point called top of the stack. So consider a stack So the stack is empty now. So the top of the stack is usually -1 if the stack is empty. So then the condition of the top is -1. If top is equal to -1, then it is called as stack is empty. If the top is equal to max stack, that is, the max stack indicates the maximum number of elements in the stack. So if top is equal to max stack, then the stack is full. It represents the stack is full. So now if I want to add some items into the stack, then using push function I am going to add items into the stack. If I want to add items into the stack, then I am using the function called push function to add the items into the stack. Push function is used to add an item into the stack. Now let's see how to add an items into the stack. For example, I want to add items like 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50 into the stack. Then using push function, I am going to add the items into the stack. So first, the stack will be empty. So these are all the index of the stack. So now I am going to add the first item called 10. Now the stack is empty. So what is the condition? Top is -1 now. So I am going to add 10 first item into the stack. That is 10 using push function. Using push function, I have added 10 item called 10 into the stack. Now the top of the stack is 0th position. The opposite of top is base. So this is the base of the stack. The pointer top represents the location of the top element of the stack. Now the top element of the stack is 10. So here I have added 10 item called 10 into the stack. Now I want to add an item called 20 into the stack. So the top of the stack is 10 now. So if I add item called 20 into the stack, now the top of the stack is increased by 1. That is, now the top of the stack is position 1. So this is the base of the stack. So next I am going to add element called 30 into the stack. Item 30 is inserted into the stack. So here 20 is inserted, here 10 is inserted. So now the top of the stack is position 2. Likewise, I am going to add 40 as well as 50 into the stack. So here we are adding item called 40. Using push function, I have added an item called 40. Now I am adding an item called 50 into the stack. Item 50 is added into the stack. Now the top of the stack is 50. The top of the stack is 50 and the base of the stack is 10. That is 0th position. New items are near the top and the older items are near the base. So consider a real-time example for stack. So if I place one over the other books like this on the top of the table, then the recently added book is going to be in the top position and the first inserted book is considered as the base. So if I want to remove, then what I will do, first I will remove this fourth book first, then I will remove third book, second book and first book. Right. So this is a real-time example of stack. So if I want to delete an item from the stack, it is not possible to delete the middle element in the stack directly. So then how to delete an item from the stack? So using the pop function, we are going to delete items from the stack. So using pop function, we are going to remove an item from the stack. Using pop function, we are going to remove an item from the stack. So now let's see how to remove an item from the stack. So the stack contains items like 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50 as its items. So I want to remove an item called 30. Remove 30. An item called 30. Then how to remove an item called 30 from the stack? That is, first I have to remove this 50. That is the top item from the stack. So first what I have to do? First step, I have to pop item called 50. Then in second step, I have to pop an item called 40. Then I have to remove an item called 30. Item is equal to 30. I want to remove only an item called 30 from the stack, right? Then what I have to do? I have to insert 40 and 50 again to the stack. So then what I have to do? I have to push an item called push item. So this is our original stack. So after removing an item from the stack, so what is our stack now? Our stack contains 10, 20, 40 and 50 as the stack items. So this is after performing pop operation. So what is a stack? A stack is an ordered collection of items where insertion and deletion takes place at the same point. So in stacks, where elements are stored in a sequential memory locations, if we want to add an item into the stack, so using push function, we are going to add an item into the stack, and using pop function, we are going to remove an item from the stack. So new items are near to the top of the stack and the older items are nearer to the base of the stack. So now let's see what are the operations we can perform on stack. A stack is said to be in overflow state when the stack is full. Consider a bottle. So this bottle A and bottle B. So bottle A is filled with water and bottle B is empty. This is full. Bottle A is filled with water and bottle B is empty bottle. So, if I want to add some more water into the bottle A, is it possible? No, right. If I add some water into this bottle, what it will become? It will overflow, right? So, this condition is called as overflow. This condition is called as overflow. If the stack is full, then the state of the stack is overflow. If in this case the bottle is empty, so this is called as underflow. This condition is called as underflow. If the stack is completely empty, then we call it as underflow. A stack is said to be in overflow state when the stack is completely full, and the stack is in underflow state when the stack is completely empty. So there are two states of stack, that is overflow and underflow. Next, let's see the operations of stack. So this is a 5 marks question in your examination. Operations of stack. So what are the operations we can perform on stack? First, if I want to create a stack, then how to create? Using stack function, I am going to create an empty stack. So it does not need any parameters and it does not return any value. It creates an empty stack. It creates an empty stack. Next, if I want to add an item into the stack, then which function we have to use? We have to use a function called push function. Push item. So push function is used to add an item into the stack. It needs a parameter called item and it does not return any value. Next, if I want to remove an item called 20 from the stack, then I have to use a function called pop. So this pop function is used to remove an item from the stack. So if I give pop 20, then it will remove 20 from the stack. Now the stack contains only an item called 10. Now this is the top of the stack. Next function is peak function. Why do we use peak function? Peak function is used to get the topmost element of the stack, but it will not remove that item from the stack. It returns the top element of the stack but it does not remove it. Next function is empty. Is empty function. Is empty function is used to check whether the stack is empty. It does not require any parameters, but it will return a Boolean value. If the stack is empty, it will return 0. If the stack is full, it will return 1. So it is used to checks whether the stack is empty or not, and it returns a Boolean value. Next operation is size. It returns the number of items in the stack. It needs no parameter, but it returns an integer value. So these are all the operations of stack. The first operation is stack function. So stack function is used to create an empty stack, and it does not require any parameters, and it will not return any value. Second operation is push operation. So using this push function, we can add an item into the stack, but it needs a parameter and does not return any value. When it comes to pop function, using this pop function, we can remove an item from the stack. It does not need any parameters, but it will return the value and it modifies the stack. When it comes to peek function, it returns the top element of the stack, but it will not remove it from the stack. When it comes to isEmpty function is used to check whether the stack is empty or not. It does not require any parameters, but it will return a Boolean value. And the last operation is size function. That the size function is used to return the number of items in the stack. It does not require any parameters, but it will return an integer value. Next is representation of stack. Representation of stack. So here there are two ways we can represent a stack. The first method is using arrays we can represent a stack, and the second method is using linked list we can represent the stacks. So now let's see how to represent a stack using arrays, that is array representation of stack. Array representation of stack. Let us learn more about array representation of stack. Using an array for representation of stack is one of the most easy method to manage the data. Now let's see what is the difference between array and stack. So in array, So this array contains an elements like 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So the stack contains So here we have represented the stack as an array. So in array we can delete any item from the stack. That is, delete 20th item directly from the array, or I can add any element into the array directly. But in stack it is not possible to insert or delete an item in the middle of the stack. For example, if I want to delete this item called 30, then first I have to remove these two items, that is 50 as well as 40 from the stack. Then I have to remove this item called 30 from the stack. But in array, it is not required. I can insert or delete any item into an array directly at any position of the array. So this is a major difference between arrays and stacks. So this is the top position of the stack, and these are all the index of the stack. So the top pointer represents the location of the top element of the stack, and max stack represents the maximum number of elements in the stack. If top is equal to max stack, then the stack is full. If top is equal to null, then the stack is empty. So this is how we are going to represent a stack as an array. So in this session we have learned about stack. So what is a stack? A stack is an ordered collection of items where insertion and deletion of items takes place at the common end called top. The opposite position of the top is base of the stack. So in stack it follows some techniques, that is last in first out. It follows last in first out. That is, the last item which is inserted into the stack is going to be removed first. That is called as last in first out. And it follows first in last out technique. First in last out, which means consider in this stack 10 is the first item which is added into the stack. But while removing, 10 is the last item which is going to be removed. So that is called as first in last out. And it also follows last come first serve and first come last serve. Last come first serve. That is, the last element which is added to the stack is going to be removed first, and first come last serve. Which means the old item which is inserted into stack is going to be removed last. So these are the techniques followed by stack. When it comes to operations of stack, there are 6 operations, that is stack function is used to create an empty stack, push function is used to push an item into the stack, pop function is used to remove an item from the stack, and isEmpty function is used to check whether the stack is empty. Peek function is used to return the top element from the stack, but it will not going to remove it from the stack, and size function is used to return the maximum elements from the stack. So these are all the operations of stack. When it comes to the representation of stack, there are 2 ways. The first one is array representation of stack and second one is linked representation of stack. But in this session we have studied only array representation of stack. So what is array representation of stack? We are going to represent stack as an array. So when it comes to stack, difference between stack as well as an array. Stack is also an ordered collection of items, but where insertion and deletion takes place at the same point called top. So if I want to insert an item or delete an item from the stack, it is not possible at any position. So if I want to remove an element called 30, first I want to remove 50 as well as 40. But when it comes to an array, if I want to add any item at the middle of this position, then I can add an item. If I want to delete an item called 40 from an array, I can directly delete that item from an array. So this is a major difference between array as well as stack. So if the condition, that is if top is equal to maximum stack, then it is full. If top is equal to null, then the stack is empty. So in stack there are of 2 states, that is overflow and underflow states. So if the stack is full, then it is called as overflow state. If the stack is completely empty, then it is called as underflow state. So this is about stack, operations of stack as well as the array representation of stack. Thank you.